This is The Sit Down, and I'm here with Academy Award-winning actor Natalie Portman, star of the new film Vox Lux. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
So nice to be here.
Well, I'm so excited to talk about this film. One of the things that you worked with the singer Sia.
Yes.
Who's also an executive producer on the film.
Yes.
And she creates all this new music that your character sings in the film. What advice did she give you about being a pop star?
You know, she didn't really. We have met before, and she is so lovely and kind, and was so generous to give her incredible music to this movie. But we actually never met on this film. We never talked about the movie, so I still haven't heard.
So she's given you zero advice, and you had to figure out how to be a pop star by yourself.
Well, I worked with one of her music producers, Chris Braid, which was incredible, and so he was really the guide in sort of recording and creating the music, which was really an incredible, lucky experience.
Well, I want to ask if there was anyone that you did turn to, and I'm also interested to know what it was like because your husband choreographed the dances. What's it like working with him?
It was so fun. It's really lucky to get to work with someone who knows your strengths and weaknesses and can kind of maneuver around them. Exactly. So it was really lucky to have that experience, and also very convenient, of course, with the home rehearsals.
Like, are you doing it in the kitchen? Like how?
We actually have a studio at home, which is so lucky. It's really our garage, but we've turned our garage into a little dance space, so that was fun.
Well, one of the things that your character Celeste has to deal with, it's this like very intense life as this pop star, and she has to deal with fans often kind of getting up in her face when she's like out with her kids, etc. How do you deal with that in your own life?
I am so appreciative and grateful when people come up and are kind, and you know, I'm always happy to say hi to people and talk to them. When I'm with my kids, I try to create that space for them where they know that my attention is 100% with them. So I prefer not to, you know, do pictures or anything that like would make them feel anything uncomfortable.
And have you had a moment like in the film where it's like when you're crying somewhere or you're upset? And
you know, I had an experience once. I was coming back from my grandmother's funeral, and I was at the airport, and I was like 18 or 19, and someone came up to me and was really like, and I was like, it's not a good time, I'm sorry. And they were kind of like, but come on, I mean, you know, like it's no big deal, it doesn't. And I was like, you know, you have no idea, like it just reminds you, like, you never know what's going on in someone's life at that moment, and like you always have to just kind of like use your imagination and respect people when you know they're telling you like, give me a moment, you know,
give me some space.
Yeah.
Well, your character in the film was a victim of a school shooting. Well, not a victim, survived a school shooting. It's a very jarring scene and film. I often report on mass shootings, and it's terrifying to sort of watch. Was that part of the film something that attracted you to the role?
Well, obviously it's horrific. It's not something that you really want to, like, you know, it's not like something that attracts you, but it did feel like something that's a very important conversation to be having, and something that we need to be thinking about and talking about. And I think that Brady, the director and writer, his connection of these ideas of, you know, what do we give attention to, and what is the power of what we give attention to, and you know, what becomes news, what becomes what do we put in the spotlight, and when that, you know, when you're putting pop culture and acts of violence in the same kind of spotlight, that gives each enormous power. And it was a really kind of interesting perspective of seeing kind of our current culture.
Well, you talk about putting things in the spotlight, and obviously you have been a really big supporter of the Me Too movement, Time's Up, and I'm wondering, kind of, award season's around the corner. What do you think are kind of the next issues that the Time's Up movement is wanting to kind of deal with? Obviously you had kind of initially people telling their stories and holding bad men to account. What's now?
Yeah, it's been really incredible to get to be among many thousands of women in our industry and in other industries who want to make changes to change sort of a culture of abusive power. I think the next steps are going to be a lot of legal and policy changes because, as you see, like, Harvey Weinstein is about to be freed. Like, not freed, he's not even, but he's about to, like, not even have a case against him.
Yeah.
And that's in big part because of a lot of laws that don't make a lot of sense, like around many different aspects, but that protect abusers and hurt the people who are abused. So I think that's going to be a big thing. And then also just looking at the culture that doesn't give women as much opportunity. There's a lot of unconscious and conscious bias against women, and also different treatment in the workplace. So if you're valued less, you know, if you're paid less consistently across the board in every profession, then obviously your value as a human being is different in the eyes. So it's all related. The pay equity, the representation in the workplace, and particularly in positions of power, and also just the laws and governing around kind of abuse.
So last year we all saw that kind of very amazing fashion statement of the women at the Oscars all wearing black.
The Globes, yeah.
The Globes,
yeah.
Sorry.
No. Whereas it's
just so many award season.
I know. It's a lot.
Is there anything planned, or are you kind of aware of any other future sort of statements in that manner?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of collective action going on that I think will come out at these public events that show the kind of community and unity that we're continuing, which is exciting.
So you joined Instagram this year.
Yes.
You seem sort of like, yes, sadly, I do have to use it.
No, I mean, it's wonderful, and I feel like it's exposed me to so many interesting and creative people that I didn't have insight into before. Well,
I see you post like the female filmmaker Fridays, for example, and I'm wondering, how do you kind of decide, your philosophy, if there's a philosophy for kind of addressing issues through social media, like how you decide what you're going to do and not?
Yeah, I think it's hard because there's a lot of important things, and also there's kind of a mix of fun that people want to have on social media, where they just kind of want to like relax and like look at, pretty things or funny things or cute things, and
is that how you use it?
I think it's a combination. That's why I think there's like that aspect, and then there's also an aspect of like you can get a lot of like really valuable information and relevant, organizing ideas or what you can do to donate to help in a certain situation, like when there were the fires in California, or so yeah. I mean, I think trying to balance of like, what can be just like, fun and enjoying life, and also like being conscious and like a good citizen.
Scrolling madly on their phones.
Yeah.
Well, there's been rumored that you may return as Padmé Amidala in Star Wars Episode 9. Can you tell us anything about that?
I don't know anything about that. So I'm guessing that's not true because I don't know about it yet.
Well, that you really answer that just straight up.
Yeah.
Are there any roles that you would like to redo?
Redo?
Yeah, or to go back to again.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. I really am always interested in like trying new things, so there hasn't been one that I've been like hankering to.
Well, then I'll have a different question for you. So I loved in this film your accent.
Thank you.
It's a very strong Staten Island accent.
Yes.
Obviously, the Jackie accent was is there an accent that you would like to do?
Oh, well, the very challenging one is Australian. Also, there's no reason. There's so many good Australian actresses. There's no reason to ever. But Rose Byrne, when we worked together on Star Wars, she tried for a while to teach me how to do the no. Can you say no?
No.
Right. It's like a 5-syllable no.
My boyfriend does it as no.
No, right? Yeah. I mean, I think that would be the hardest, probably.
That's fair. Thank you so much for joining us, Natalie. Vox Lux is in theaters now. Stay tuned for more AM to PM.